Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey y'all, it's your girl Pastor Jew. Welcome to our morning devotion with Pastor Jew. Welcome to morning devotion with Pastor Jew. It's a little chilly, so I'm wrapped up tight. But good morning and welcome to morning devotion with Pastor Jew. Happy Monday, happy Monday. We are continuing in our series on um, idolatry and idol worship, and I want to just share this text with you this morning. So let's get in here, get in here, get in here. As you all come on in, tap, tap, heart, love, share out with your followers. Help us with some electronic evangelism. Share out with your followers. Put somebody's name in the chat. Happy Monday. Put somebody's name in the chat as well as give us lots of love, heart love, and stars. Stars lets the algorithm know that this is a worthy live stream. So um, let's do all the things that we can. Amen. So we are in the second week of talking about idolatry and idol worship. And I thought this text in Colossians was really powerful, and I want to share with you all real quick. We normally try to come on about 6:45 ish. Um, but it's also morning time, so we recognize that we're all operating on different schedules periodically. But my goal is to always have your notifications on so when we go live. But we do try to come on at between by 6:45 at the latest 7, because we're up against morning chores and things like that. But our goal is 6:45. So let's get into it this morning. Colossians chapter 3 verse 5. Colossians chapter 3 verse 5. Last week we talked about keep away from idols, keep away from idolatry. Understand that there is some personal responsibility as it relates to how we keep ourselves from idol worship. That is not just on, the God or whatever, or God or somebody else to help us do that, but there's some personal responsibility. And I think Colossians 3 is important because it doesn't just speak of idol worship, but it says this. Listen to what it says. It says, put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you: sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, covetousness, and covetousness, which is idolatry. Right? To covet something, covetousness, which is also idolatry, right? And so what the text is letting us know that when we are obsessed with something, that's also a form of idolatry. Coveting something, wanting something that somebody else has, that becomes a form of idolatry. So this is important because most of us think that idol worship is just worshiping other gods, right? But it's anything that we're way too focused on to obsess over and also to own or control, right? And so part of what Colossians helps us understand is that covetousness is also a form of idol worship, right? Covetousness is also a form of worship, idol worship. So listen, you might be saying, I don't idol anybody. I don't have any idols that I worship. I'm not caught up in idolatry. Okay, but are you obsessing over your neighbor's car? Are you obsessing over your neighbor's spouse? Are you obsessing over your co-worker's clothing? Are you obsessing over what somebody else is wearing? Because that there also becomes a form of idol worship, because that's the thing that you're focused on, you're centered on, and that which you are focused and centered on, that which has your heart, has also your treasure. Doesn't the Bible teach us that? The Word of God teaches that wherever your heart is, there is also your treasure. So if I am constantly, these glasses are off. They keep bothering me. I'm gonna just take them off. I can't see, but I can see, but I can't see clearly. Um, but the frame was bothering me. Sorry about that. So anything that we spend too much energy, time, focus, that's where I'm looking for focus, on, we're obsessing over it, then that becomes a form of worship. When you're obsessing over something, that also becomes a form of worship, which then also becomes a form of idolatry. And so before we are too quick to judge people that worship, we've been talking a lot about the little house gods, the little house gods that they would have. This is not a house god. This is just simply, what do you call those, a timer thing, right? But we gave the example of those little house gods that they would keep in the house, and some of y'all got them. Anyway, and so we tend to think of idolatry as just people worshiping things. We talked about people worshiping things like plants. Like there are whole religions where people worship plants, right? I don't. I just like plants in my house. But we tend to think that that's what idol worship is, right? Or a person. We make a person a god, and so we worship them. We worship what they say and what they do, and we bow down to them, and not just physically bow down, but we bow down by compromise. We bow down in doing what they say or whatever instructions they're giving, right? We follow their every word. And that all of those things are also idol worship, and so is coveting. So is obsessing over what somebody else has. And this is important because Colossians says to us, listen to what it says, put to death, therefore, what's earthly in you, in me. So what it's saying to us is that these earthly challenges are within us, that they come from within us. I believe it's in the book of James that lets us know that we cannot be tested and pulled away by anything that's not already in us. And this is the example that I always give when we look at scriptures like this, that challenge us to deal with what's in us. And I give this example. You cannot tempt me at no time of day with Brussels sprouts. You can't. I don't desire Brussels sprouts. Now, will I eat them for health benefits? Absolutely. But only if I have to. Only if it's the only thing. Only if I'm at your house and the only vegetable you've made is Brussels sprouts will I eat them. Right? I don't hate them. I just don't desire them. Never. I don't ever wake up and say, I want Brussels sprouts. Not my desire. Not my jam. Not my desire. At no point in the time of day. So you can't tempt me. You can't say, ooh, Najuma, I got a plate of Brussels sprouts. And I'm be like, and I'll eat dirt. I'll eat some dust. Or I'll just fast. You can't tempt me with Brussels sprouts. But now, if you say, I got some ice cream. Well, now, that's going to be hard to turn away from. Because I desire ice cream. It is one of my top desires. I desire ice cream at all times of the day, at all times of the year. Morning, noon, and night, I can eat ice cream. I can eat ice cream when it's hot. I can eat ice cream when it's freezing cold. I like ice cream. I desire ice cream. So the desire for ice cream is what can draw me away. My lack of desire for Brussels sprouts means I can't be drawn away. And so, in other words, we look at scriptures like Colossians, and he says, put to death, the writer says, put to death every earthly thing in you, sexual immorality, iniquity, passion, evil, and covetousness, which is idolatry. That means what we have to check is what's in me. Now, I know you might look at this list and say, oh, that's not me. Okay. I'm not saying it is. I am saying, however, is what the text helps us to understand, as well as in James, is that some of this stuff is in us. And the reason we are studying and going through this series on idolatry and idol worship is because maybe, just maybe, and again, this is something we have to examine, it's in us. Maybe, just maybe, we're practicing. Maybe, just maybe, we're getting caught up because there's something in us that can be drawn away into that life. Now, there are some of you that will never get caught up in idol worship. You won't ever, because it's not in you. There's nothing in you that desires whatever it would take to do that, right? But then there are some that it's in you. And maybe not covetousness and idolatry, but maybe sexual immorality, maybe passions, maybe evil. The point is, it's not so much the list as it is the examination. This is why you and I have to examine the heart at all times, because what is in me? And one of the things, since we're on this train of idolatry and idol worship, One of the things on this list of things to kill inside of you, to die, to let it have a death, bury it, ash to ashes, dust to dust, is covetousness, which is also idolatry. Absolutely. And so, absolutely, Beth, thank you for that. Beth says, when desire and obsessions turn into idol worship, absolutely. And so, again, you might be saying, I don't worship no other God, I don't worship no person, but you are obsessing over their agenda, obsessing over their lifestyle. And listen, in this day and age, where celebrity voyeurism is a thing. What do I mean by celebrity voyeurism? Where we are watching all day and all night what celebrities are doing. And it's easy to do because some of them put their whole lives on Instagram, on social media. We know way too much about Cardi B's marriages. We know way too much about Nick Cannon's kids. We know you know way too much about Nicki Minaj's husband. Y'all know way too much about we know way too much. We know way too much. We know way too much about all of Tyrese's emotional ups and downs. We know way too much. Like, you got family members that don't even know as much about you as you know about some celebrities. Now listen, I'm not blaming us. I'm not blaming you. We live in a culture that promotes it. We live in a culture that promotes voyeurism of celebrities, like always watching what they're doing, always watching what they've got going on. So much so that there are a whole entire people that are paid to chase them all around, especially in LA. Chase them down, meet them at the airport, chase them down from studios to this to that, blah, 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 blah. God forbid you ever hang out in Beverly Hills where they go shopping. And what we know, sometimes some of them have PR agents that call ahead and say, oh, so and so is gonna be at such and such restaurant. And then the word gets out so people know to show up, right? And I'm lifting that, not judging anyone, but we are obsessed with celebrities. To the point where if a celebrity does this, we do it. And when I'm not saying we as you and I'm saying we as in just the culture, right? If a celebrity wears something, everybody wearing it. If they try something, everybody's trying. Now, why do you think they get celebrities to sell stuff? Because they know that if the celebrity says, "Ooh, I like chocolate ice cream with hot dogs in it," y'all gonna eat it. If one celebrity got on TV right now, any of the top seven, and got on TV right now and said, "Ooh, I like chocolate ice cream with sausages in it," some of y'all gonna go, not you, but somebody you know is gonna go and buy that ice cream with hot dogs in it because we're obsessed, right? And it's not so much that celebrities, the individuals, have become idols. It's the culture. Celebrity culture is the idol that is worshipped, especially here in Los Angeles. And I would even say in some places even worse, where because those of us who are born and raised here in LA, listen, we went to school with some of these celebrities. We went to school with them. We lived next door to them. We rode the bus with them. We played with them outside. So we're not fazed by it. But especially when you have people that are coming to, yuck, I know it's horrible, but Yvette, as bad as that sounds, trust me, if the right celebrities got on TV right now and said, "Oh, I like so-and-so ice cream with chocolate ice cream with hot dogs in it," somebody gonna be like, "Oh, that sounds good. I'm gonna try that. Where I go to try that?" Somebody's gonna do it. And I have family and friends in the South, and because they don't have the same access to celebrities, what I see in people is sometimes there is an even more infatuation and obsession with celebrity life. And we're still just talking about idol worship and idolatry. And so there is a coveting of their life. That's why they have TV shows around, Pimp My Ride and Pimp My Crib, because there is a desire to emulate those lives. There's a coveting of those lifestyles. And that coveting can turn into idol worship and idolatry. And I know none of you do that. None of you do that. But there are believers that are coveting the lifestyle of celebrities, trying to live like them. We even see it in the church. We see it in the church where we have, celebrity-like clergy, right? They're like celebrities, and they live like celebrities, like their life is formulated after celebrity lifestyle because there's a coveting of it. And that's just the culture of our nation, especially in parts like LA and Atlanta and maybe even New York and other parts of the nation. There's a coveting of the lifestyle, not necessarily the individual, but the lifestyle, the celebrity lifestyle. People coveted Diddy's lifestyle. People coveted Diddy's lifestyle. And when it all came crashing down, Diddy wasn't the only one who got hurt. Other people crashed because they couldn't believe their idol had come down. Diddy became an idol for a lot of people. They worshiped his lifestyle. They worshiped what he did, how he did it, who he was. And when it all came crashing down, people were having visceral reactions. People were having unnatural, visceral reactions because their idol was being cut down. Their idol was being cut down. And so part of what Colossians brings home for you and I is we have got to put to death those parts of us that move in that kind of way. And again, you may not have a little house god. You may not have stones that you worship. You may not have incense that you burn to unnatural and unusual gods and unfamiliar gods. You may not be calling out other names of other gods. But are you coveting anybody's lifestyle? Are you obsessed with how somebody is living? And it doesn't have to be a celebrity. It could be your neighbor. And you see how well he treats his wife. Or your girlfriend, you see how well her husband treats her. And you're coveting that. I want that. I want that. Obsessed. And it turns into idol worship. And the text says for us in Colossians, put it to death. Put it to death. Ash to ashes, dust to dust, put it to death. Now, let's go down the list because he names some other things, right? Sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desires, and covetousness, which is idolatry. And any of those can become idolatry, which can become an idol that we worship. It can flow into idol worship. And so listen, I need all 7 of y'all to share this out with someone. Put somebody's name in the chat because someone needs to hear this today. Someone needs to know that their obsession with something or someone else is a form of idol worship. Come out of it and put it to death. So I need about 7 of y'all, the other 7 of y'all to share this out. I need all 7 of y'all to share this out with someone. And the question for today is, what am I obsessing over? Is there anyone or anything I'm obsessing over? And if it is, today is the last day. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. Is there a lifestyle? Is there an activity? Is there, is there something I'm coveting? I'm obsessed with. I want that. I just strongly desire, and it's gotten the best of me. And again, the example that I give is you cannot test me with Brussels sprouts. I can't be pulled away with Brussels sprouts, but I can be pulled away by ice cream. Why? Because I desire it. There's a part of me that likes it. And the real rub for you and I as believers is we have to own up to the things that we like and desire, and then say, God, get that desire out of me. That's an unhealthy, unnatural, ungodly desire. Get it out of me. Kill it in me, Lord, because I cannot afford to be caught up in idolatry and idol worship. Can't afford it. So track what your desires are. This is why I say the best awareness is self-awareness. What do you desire? Track your desires. Track the things that you strongly desire, and then see how it's playing out in your life. And has that thing or that situation, that lifestyle, that person become an idol? Just because it doesn't have a name of a foreign god doesn't mean it's not an idol. And we use the celebrity not to put down celebrities, but to acknowledge that the celebrity life that many people covet is their idol. Is their idol. So it can just be a lifestyle. It can be, doesn't have to be a person. And we said that from the beginning. Okay? Absolutely. Thank you, Stacy and Beth, for putting the questions. Thank you for everyone that shared that with your followers. I need all 7 of y'all to share, because this is going to save somebody. This is going to help somebody for the rest of their year get over what they need to get over and go into a new year letting their focus be on God and not on these other people and other ways of being. I'm focused on the Lord. Amen. Okay, y'all. So y'all have a nice day. Have an amazing day. We'll be back on tomorrow morning, 6:45. No. Tuesday we do a prayer group. So we'll put up the prayer call, 6:30 prayer call. Then we're back Wednesday, 6:45 for the remaining of this lesson. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to finish out this series on idolatry and idol worship. So come back Wednesday morning. But tomorrow morning we do have our prayer call. So that information will be posted for y'all. Come and join us for the prayer call. And then Wednesday we pick back up. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we pick back up with the rest of our morning devotion with Pastor Jew on idolatry and idol worship. All right? Y'all have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we out, y'all. Peace.